Oh, hello, and welcome to Prediction Movie Review. Hey guys, my name is Dylan. I feel movies nowadays are far too predictable, and I'm setting off to prove just that. Armed with only a trailer and the first part of a movie, we'll pause to make predictions on what we think will happen the rest of the way, and then check back in at the end to see how we did. Going back to 2018, I agree with Dan Murrell when he said that Toni Collette absolutely deserved an Oscar nomination for her performance in Hereditary, or just any recognition in the first place. Now whenever she's in something, I am more than likely to check it out solely for her. Such as her latest, which got picked up by a couple of streaming platforms and got dumped on there without any marketing. Which is surprising because it also features Anna Kendrick. Excuse me? Yeah, you heard me right. As her and the rest of the cast get into trouble in space? No? Okay. It's the Prediction Movie Review for Stowaway. I am by no means an expert, but based on that, yeah, I'd say you took off.
We are taking the first steps to being able to call Mars a second home.
As opposed to what? Taking care of the first one? This is like having the mindset of your house is for sale and you know you're moving to another one, so you treat the one you're living in like shit because, well, we're going to a new one soon.
We're sorry that you missed the filet mignon, but this is the next best thing. We think it's spaghetti.
I should warn you now that Zoe thinks she's the in-flight entertainment.
Hey, you give her some cups and you watch her go.
Life support is damaged permanently. We only have enough oxygen aboard for 3 people.
How much time do we have before it's too late?
20 days.
A 2-year mission, and with one extra person, you only have enough oxygen for 20 days? Something must go horrifically wrong or break, because if that's the plan, even with one less person, that's not a great plan. I find it hilarious that this was released almost everywhere in the world by Netflix, unless you're like me, in Canada. We got this on Amazon Prime, which, judging by the trailer comments, people were very confused. Oh, hey, how you doing there, bud? Sorry to hear that, eh? You wanna go get some Tims later while we play some shinny and ride me moose, eh? Also, the people who make space movies must love it. 4 actors, you get your one big name, you fill in the rest of the cast with character actors, a young up-and-comer, and then the bulk of your budget goes to CGI or the 1, maybe 2 sets that you have. Let's see how effective this simple story is told. Trailer done, now on to the first part of the movie. We'll be back, we'll make some predictions. I hate how often I've been saying this, and then come the end, I'm extremely disappointed, but 47 minutes in, Stowaway has very nicely set up this story. We know a little bit about each crew member, with the exception of Marina, which we will get to. As I paused, we were getting to the meat of the story, the fact that these 4 are going to run out of oxygen before any of them get to Mars. Obviously, one of my predictions will be that they don't all make it, but we'll get to that and talk it through when we get there. First up, David is upset that Marina is asking him to risk his work in the mission. He told her that he'll use up the rest of those plants, or the fungus, whatever it was. He's not going to. It may have been small, but there was a moment where Zoe had a glance at Michael, and I feel like we're headed towards her having feelings for him, and that is also why they do everything they can to save him. At some point, they are obviously going to learn that they don't have enough oxygen to get to Mars. Michael mentions that he's an engineer and had been working on a side project for the second trip to Mars. Whatever that was will be a way they could possibly save them, and they will agree to try it, even though that's not been tested. Per the trailer, Zoe and Michael go outside of the ship. The only reason you would take an untrained astronaut out into space would be if the project and the thing to save them, Michael needs to be there and it's outside. I think it's pretty obvious that not all 4 of them are going to make it, so let's break this down logically. David has a wife, so he is safe. Michael has his sister, and him and Zoe become close, so he is also safe. And I think Zoe's safe as well because she's young and they're going to say she has her whole career ahead of her and she's going to do big things. Now Marina, we don't know anything about her except for the fact that she is the leader. She will make the heroic sacrifice to save her team, even though they try to stop her, but she'll do it anyways. At the end, the remaining crew, as they're about to touch down on Mars, the music will swell, and that is when the credits will hit. On with the movie. The only thing that could really shock me is if an alien shoots out of somebody's chest. I'm not gonna bury the headline. I got 0 right, as in not a single prediction that I made came true. I don't even know how this is possible. Seriously, you can't make this up. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I think the worst I've done in the past is like a 60% score. With that, let's find out what actually happened. From what he said, David did use up the rest of the fungus. There's a scene where that seems to be what he says, which is kind of dumb because that's part of the whole reason why you're going to Mars. There is no sexual chemistry between Zoe and Michael. She does become sympathetic towards him as he starts telling her more personal stories of his life. Michael, being an engineer, literally never comes up again. Oh, and I stupidly thought they would send an untrained astronaut into space. It's actually Zoe and David who go, and I got tricked by some very clever editing. I was right about one thing. There is one person who sacrifices themselves, Zoe. The movie does end abruptly, rather not them touching down on Mars, as Zoe's staring out into space accepting her death. Shocked is a bit of an understatement. I never thought this would happen. You have to figure at least one right prediction, but let me say, that does not take away from the fact that this was a decent movie. I'd say the first hour and more was great. It had you invested in most of the characters, and things got tense as it got closer and closer to them running out of time. The acting from Toni Collette, Anna Kendrick, Daniel Day Kim, Shamier Anderson was solid. Each was cast well in their parts and were good in it. Really, the only one who suffered was Collette as Marina Barnett. Her character had no development, other than she was the captain, her arm gets injured, and then she's upset when they tell her someone has to die, but then she's serious because she's the captain. Every other character gets fleshed out well and you care more about them because of it, except for her. That is why I thought she would go all Harry S. Stamper and Armageddon on us and sacrifice herself for the team. Speaking of Zoe sacrificing herself for the good of the mission, I'm sorry, but there is no way Michael being the one to go wasn't the right call. The other 3 are trained astronauts who worked hard to prepare for this mission, and its success could mean big things for humanity. Instead, he delays using what David gave him to off himself and eventually leads to Zoe feeling bad and taking one for the team. Yeah, I do have a heart, and I realize that no person could fathom having to make that decision that Michael had to. But he knew from the moment he regained consciousness that he didn't belong there. Plus, he spends all of his time around Zoe and David just sharing personal stories, and they feel really bad for him, and so that is why they cut it so close to them all dying. Only other thing that bothered me a little bit was the end. Not so much that it was Zoe, but the tempo of it. Her and David had just come back from the first attempt to get the tank. That was an extended scene that played out over 15 minutes. Right as they get back, Zoe is out again doing the exact same thing. She gets down, puts the tank inside, and then sits there staring out into space. Credits. It didn't feel like a natural conclusion to the movie. Sure, the whole point was they have too many passengers and they need to find a way to survive. Zoe getting the tank means they do, but I was literally sitting there as the credits were rolling going, wait, what? Oh, it's over. I enjoyed this overall though. The simple story of a couple of sets with some great performances made for a compelling film. I'd say if you have Amazon Prime, or sorry, Netflix, and you want to watch a slow burn with some great performances, then check out Stowaway. Do you have a movie that you want to see a prediction movie review for? Obviously, I can't have seen the movie in order to make this work, but leave your suggestions in the comments below. Lastly, I predict that you will like the video and subscribe, and that's appreciated. Thanks for watching.